Serena Williams wins the women's singles title at Wimbledon, and Djokovic wins the men's title once again. Let's go to the phone right now and bring in David Waldstein. He is a sports reporter for the New York Times who was at Wimbledon watching both of those victories. David, thanks for joining the show.
Pleasure.
David, let's start with Serena. Is it time we talk about Serena as the best women's tennis player of all time, or is she still in competition with the likes of Steffi Graf et al.?
I think it's definitely time to talk about her as the best tennis player of all time, and we need to start talking about her as one of the best champions in American sports history.
David, how much longer can Serena go and play at this level? She's what, 33 years old right now?
She's 33. She's playing. Well, she's winning. It's funny because she didn't play fantastically at the French Open and still won. She had some trouble in two matches here, so it wasn't like she just steamrolled past everyone. But I mean, her serve is just ridiculous when it's on. She serves around. You know, she can serve harder than Roger Federer. So,
wow.
And he has got an excellent serve. So she's got, you know, probably the best. She's got the best serve in the game now, maybe the best serve of all time. I think she's going to keep going. She needs one more major title to tie Steffi Graf at 22. Then two more after that. She tied Margaret Court, who has the most all time. Margaret Court, though. Half of hers were before the Open era, and also I think 13 of them were Australian Opens in a time when nobody went there. So she was not playing against the top players. So, yeah, Serena's. I mean, Martina Navratilova went through a phase where, you know, nobody could touch her, but I think Serena's better.
The achievements are incredible as they stand alone. Just the fact she's dominating, but she's doing it at 33 years old, which is well past prime time for tennis. We see most tennis players, if they're not retiring at 29 or 30 years old, they're certainly not dominating at 33 years old. What do you believe is the reason for her longevity and for her incredible success even at this age?
Well, one, she's just a terrific athlete. Two, she's incredibly driven. She's you know, has an incredible fighting spirit. And I think three, also, if you look around, you see Federer is still playing. And I think, you know, you could make an argument that there are aspects of the game of tennis now that enable you to play longer. Racket technology might be part of that. And also, I think, you know, the nutrition, the more information we have about nutrition and training and exercise, and I think that all contributes. Serena spent a lot of time actually not playing in lesser tournaments, so maybe she's kind of saved on some wear and tear from that.
David, I grew up playing tennis. I grew up watching tennis. I was a child of John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors,
really?
Lendl.
I know your parents. I had no idea John McEnroe was your father.
You can't be serious. Answer the question. The question, jerk. That's where I get my anger and rage.
And now I understand.
From. But I grew up watching those guys, and then Chang and Courier and Sampras. So I love tennis. But it's really a shame to me that there isn't much of an interest in tennis stateside. Do you think the reason is because there isn't a great American on the men's side?
I do think that's a reason, and I think that maybe that could be changing. Riley Opelka won. He's a junior American boy who won Wimbledon yesterday. Tommy Paul won the French Open, and the three of the last five major tournaments at the junior level were won by American boys. So we could be looking at a crop of players that are going to do well. Also, there's Madison Keys, Coco Vandeweghe is playing well, along with Serena. So there could be some American women too. So I think the next few years are going to be very interesting for American tennis.
David, along that theme, do we not appreciate Djokovic as much as we should?
Yeah, well, it's understandable because he's playing in an era with Federer, Nadal, and even Andy Murray. But I think he's now established himself as better than the rest of them. We're gonna start to acknowledge how good he is, and he's got a ways to go. So he's going to start adding more majors to his total.
Is the tennis world worried about Rafa? Have we seen the best of Nadal?
Yeah.
Is his time past?
It looks that way. It looks like just the way he played. Plus, I think maybe his body was a little fragile, especially in his knees. And maybe his time has come and gone, which is amazing because there was a time when Federer was widely acknowledged as the best player in the world, but he couldn't beat Nadal. So the question is, are you the best player in the world if you can't beat this one guy? But Federer has held on. Federer's 33. He's held on. Actually, he's going to be 34 next month. So he's still playing. He's still ranked number 2 and getting the Wimbledon final. And Nadal is just slipping to the wayside.
Dave, when you say that Federer couldn't beat Nadal, are you saying that he couldn't beat him, period, or at the French?
At the French.
At the French, correct?
No, then he lost to him in Wimbledon in 2008. No, his record, I forget what it is exactly, but I think Nadal has beaten Federer about twice as many times as vice versa.
Hey, David, really appreciate your time. I know it's been a long couple of weeks for you over in London. How can people follow you on Twitter?
At David Waldstein.
That's easy enough. And at the New York Times. David, really appreciate it, and hope to talk to you soon again.
Anytime.
All right, David Waldstein of the New York Times, and that segment was sponsored by John Elway Chevrolet, Colorado's #1 Chevy dealer.